The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to a post-game edition of the Phixated Podcast. I am your host, Mike Ezelina, and I'm joined by my good buddy Regz. I'm gonna put my hood up. Regz is a little chilly in my hotel room. We're gonna go ahead and recap the Game 3 7-2 loss in the NLDS that puts the Phillies at a 2-1 deficit, having to play Game 4 in New York tomorrow. Hopes are dim, Regz. Vibes are low. This team is lifeless, it feels. It's very reminiscent of last year. The Braves win that miracle Game 2 in Atlanta and come out, and the Phillies blow them out of the water in Philly in Game 3. And then, win a very close Game 4 at home last year. It feels like we're heading that direction tomorrow. We're gonna go inning by inning here in a moment. Just some initial thoughts and then turn it over to you. I really didn't think Aaron Nola was that bad tonight. 2 solo home runs early, came out in the 6th and sort of lost control, didn't locate the fastball. Walks to Nimmo and Alonso hurt him, obviously. Vientos led off with a 108-mile-an-hour line drive and then 2 walks. They went to Kerkering. And, I don't even blame Kerkering. Did a job, and unfortunately, Marte put a good swing on the ball down in the zone. But that was sort of it at that point. We'll get to what happened before that, but it's your basic baseball, right? It's you leave opportunities out there, the other team's going to turn them around and get you. But this game was not Aaron Nola's fault. I actually thought he pitched really well for the most part. That 6th inning aside, and we know the middle innings, 4, 5, 6 are always questionable with Knowles, and the 6th is the one that got him tonight. And the Phillies fall mercilessly, whatever that word is, to the New York Mets. Your initial thoughts after tonight, buddy?
I don't know. It's like, I don't know what stage of grief I'm at yet. I feel like I'm in between a few of them. Slowly bleeding into acceptance. To your point, the starting pitching is the least of my worries at this point in this series. I think if you were choosing phases of the game, starting pitches is probably at the bottom of the things I've been most worried about. It's the offense, and it's just, I'll save, my larger take for later, but it just all goes back to, again, I heard somebody say this on some podcast I was listening to, like, what did they think gave them the right to take their foot off the gas after the All-Star break?
Yeah, it was high hopes.
Yeah. Like, what did they earn to that point? And I just think we've seen it carry out the entire second half of this season, and we're now seeing it carry out in this playoff series. Yeah, and it just keeps turning into like the worst case scenario, and I don't know if for some reason being back literally against the wall will change something tomorrow. If it does, then like they still have the same problem we're talking about. They can't seem to find the correct motivation all the time. There have to be these extenuating circumstances that causes them to play like the team and the baseball players they should play like. And like that's not a winning. Like, that's not how you win. That's not how you become a championship team. And they just showed tonight what that mentality has been for almost 4 months now. And it's tough, especially when the talk has been, we only have one goal. This team is focused on one thing. Like, well, you did something wrong. That's great, but like you didn't know how to do it. You said this was your goal, blah blah blah. Somebody misinformed you greatly if you thought this is how you go about it. But let's get into the whole thing.
Yeah, we're gonna go inning by inning. We'll talk more about tomorrow, and we'll save the big picture stuff, I think, for after what I feel is the inevitable. But let's go inning by inning here and just recap tonight's game. The Phillies gave me a little hope in the beginning. Schwarbs went to the track, 107 mile an hour fly out. Trey, 106 mile an hour ground out, 107 mile an hour ground out, and then Bryce with 106 mile an hour ground out. So they hit 3 balls on the nose to start the game. It gave me a little bit of hope. Lindor almost put one out, struck out Vientos, struck out Nimmo. So Knowles had a great first inning, felt very comfortable through the first. Second inning, Nick also hit a ball really hard, 97 miles an hour. So, they out of the gate, things looked pretty good offensively. Bohm it was 95 miles an hour at third base. So again, then JT gets hit by a pitch and Austin Hayes comes up and swings at the first pitch and plugs it into the ground. Just not what you do there. Like, you don't swing at the first pitch after a walk. Well, you don't swing at a first pitch after like a 3 or a 4 or 5 pitch walk, and you don't swing at the first pitch after a hit by pitch. That is just baseball 101. You don't. Maybe after a mound visit, but not otherwise. Anyway, they go out there. You're gonna sense a theme. My frustration with Austin Hayes. Leading off the second inning, Pete Alonso puts the Mets up 1-0. That pitch by Aaron Nola was not a bad pitch, by the way. Up out of the zone.
It just seems like all the other hitters seem to be able to figure out how to just put pitches in play and hit them hard, and our guys are just like, eh.
Well, to be fair, again, 107 miles an hour, 3 straight guys. Alonso put a good swing on the ball, and it went very far. He's a very, very strong human being. I don't like him. He's a total dork, but he put a good swing on the ball, and it went. This was one of the wildest innings I've ever seen in my life, by the way. Iglesias comes up, singles. Winker comes up and hits a ball that I am sure is out, by the way. And Nick makes a great play. The right call by the umpires on this play, by the way, too, that, it was not Iglesias' fault that he went and didn't tag. He waited for the umpire to signal and then went. So the right call, he got to go back to first. Marte flies out, Taylor strikes out. All of that happening, 11 pitches.
Yeah, that was wild.
Which is wild to me. There was an umpire change in the game. Did you know this?
No.
There's an umpire change. Andy Fletcher replaced Rob Drake behind the plate.
Behind the plate?
Interesting. Or was he behind the plate to start? I'll have to look into that. It just says in the game day that there was an umpire replacement. To lead off the second inning or the third inning, Sosa gets hit by a pitch. And of course, Pierzynski has to say he leaned into it. AJ Pierzynski should not have a color.
Why is he allowed to have a job?
He's so bad.
Yeah.
Here was an interesting thing to me, Regz, and I want your thoughts on this. Johan Rojas squared to bunt on the first pitch, and I believe it was a ball. It was.
Yes.
Never squared again. And I don't quite
don't-
understand.
I don't know why either.
Like, I'm not sure why he didn't square to bunt after that. Because what happens after Kyle Schwarber strikes out, after Rojas strikes out. So Rojas strikes out, Schwarber strikes out. Turner singles.
Yeah.
And the ball he hit had Nimmo going to his right. He wasn't coming in. He had to go to his right. Sosa isn't slow.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the fastest guy.
Well,
on the
especially
team,
with
but
2
he's
outs, though. He's
scoring with 2 outs and Nimmo moving to his right.
Yeah.
Like, unquestionably. Because if you throw to the plate, Turner's standing on second base. So, like, you're going to throw to first to make sure Turner doesn't get to second.
Yeah.
You're going to throw to second to make sure he doesn't get to second. Sorry. But, like, I don't that game could have been 1-1 right there. But for some reason, Johan Rojas didn't bunt. Phillies 6 through 9 hitters in this series are 4 for 41.
Yeah, they've been abysmal.
So that was killer. That was crusher. Harper grounded out to Minaya after that. The Mets went pretty quietly, aside from a leadoff single. That was the ball Alvarez hit off the wall to lead off the inning. But Lindor line out, Vientos fly out, Nimmo pop up to end it. Phil's come out. Nick hits another ball. This one was pretty lazy to right field. It never felt like it was going. Bohm hits a bullet to right center. This play was when I think I was like, okay, it's not happening. Tyrone Taylor bare hands a perfect bounce, one hop off the wall, turns, throws a ball that misses Marte by like 5 inches.
Foot. Yeah.
And then one hops to a waiting Lindor who tags Alec Bohm in the hair for an out. Like, if the magic is not yours, then I need to know what is the magic, because that play in and of itself was very telling of how this game was going to go. And I saw some things on social media like, why was he running? He's not fast. And that's a guaranteed double pretty much 99 out of 100 times. All of the things that had to go right for that play to happen went right. And Taylor has a great arm, a fantastic arm. But most times you see that ball wide of the bag,
Yeah.
or, it takes a slower hop, or you turn and you see Marte and you hesitate and don't throw it. Everything just broke right. And then JT flew out. Then Aaron gets the first 2 outs of the inning, has Jesse Winker 2 strikes, and throws a fastball right down the middle, and Jesse Winker hit it 30 miles into the second deck. I think that ball is still going up when it got to the stands, Regz.
Such a tool.
He is, but he hit that ball very far.
Yeah, he did.
Struck out Marte. 2-0 at that point, but I texted a buddy and said, it's not good that it feels like it's 20-0.
Yeah.
Because that's what it felt like, even after everything that happened. And the Phillies came out the following inning, strikeout swinging, weak ground out, 7 pitches after the Mets go up 2-0. So all the momentum just pours into the Mets side, even though and Nola has a great fifth. He strikes out the side.
Mm-hmm.
Has a great fifth. Taylor strikeout, Alvarez strikeout, Lindor strikeout. So, Knowles did his job that inning. And in the 6th, you feel like the magic is starting again. Kyle Schwarber works a great at bat.
Mm-hmm.
He's down 0-2, comes back, walks. Trey Turner, 3-2 count, walks. 2 walks to start the inning. Bryce maybe has his worst at bat as a Philly in the postseason right here. Swings at a first pitch changeup and then swings at 2 sliders. One that was not super far off. The second one, they purposely threw about a foot off the plate with a pitch to waste, and he chased. Really poor at bat from Bryce.
Yeah, it just. Again, I'm saying this as a person who's not a left-handed hitter hitting against that guy, but like,
Sure.
it didn't look like he was interested in the left side of the field whatsoever. Every swing was a pull swing, no matter where that ball was. Like, we saw Schwarber foul off a couple that were down and away, just knowing that, like, look, I'm not going to put any power into this. Like, they were good pitches, but he had the ability to fight them off a few times. Like, Harper was just not looking to do anything the other way. And especially, and I just don't get it because of how Minaya is trying to throw him, how that arm action happens. They weren't trying to bust him inside. Everything was down and away. I know that first pitch changeup, like, I can't believe he missed it. I thought he was like, if that's a pitch you're going to pull and send to right field, like, good Lord.
He was out in front. He was out in front. I think he thought fastball.
But the next, like, he was looking to pull everything, and it was obvious from the swings, and it just, I don't know, man. I know he hit the home run the other day and all that stuff, but, like, just think who Bryce Harper was in 2022. Like, you're the Bedlam, obviously, right? Opposite way. The double with JT on first to put him up in the game before that, when the Padres went up like 6 or something in the Bailey Falter start.
Yeah.
To put him up by a run. It's a rocket to left center. And I haven't seen that type of swing out of him in a while.
Yeah,
it's just like, I get it. It's not always warranted, so fine. But, like, with a guy with a crossfire like this, like, there, where it's going, man.
Yeah, it's a different Minaya than it was then too. I think I wasn't happy with that at bat. But sadly, Bryce doesn't hit well at City. Like, he just doesn't. His numbers at City are
terrible.
putrid.
Yeah.
And this version of Minaya has been very hard on him. So, and to be quite frank with you, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. His numbers against Quintana aren't much better. It wasn't a good at bat.
It was, like you said, might be one of the worst we've ever seen him have.
In the postseason. We've seen him have some pretty bad, like, at bats against some other guys. But in the postseason for sure. But these are games where other guys got to pick you up. And I said this before we got on here. I wasn't even angry about the next swing. Again, Nick hits a ball 96 miles an hour. Right on the nose. Right at Iglesias. Like, right at him.
Yep.
If that ball is 2 feet, 3 feet to the right, or 2 feet, 3 feet higher. Well, not 2, 3 feet higher, because he basically caught it off the ground. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. He hits that ball in a certain direction at that velocity. It's a 2-1 game, and Trey Turner's standing on third base with one out. And you can't be upset with Kyle Schwarber. He's getting a good secondary lead. He's running because he thinks that ball is either on the ground or in right field.
Yeah.
And he's trying to score. They need runs, and he's trying to score there. It's just one of those plays that's crappy luck. But if you tried to convince yourself that the Mets were not scoring in the next inning, you haven't watched enough baseball, because there was no. I should have gone on and bet immediately that the Mets were going to score. That is the most guaranteed thing in all of sports. When you leave an opportunity out there like the Phillies did, 2 walks to start an inning, and you can't cross one of those guys, there's no doubt the other team's scoring. And that's exactly what happened. Vientos single, 2 walks to Nimmo and Alonso. We'll talk about that in a moment. The Phils go to Kirkering, who gets Iglesias. What a play by Mundo Sosa, by the way.
Yeah.
To recover on that play and still get the out at home. Vientos isn't the fastest guy in the world.
Yeah.
But to be able to recover and make that play is absolutely incredible. Then the fly ball to Hayes, and Winker, like, looked down at third, like, why aren't you tagging? Dude, Nimmo would have been out by a mile had he tagged on that. Like, that ball was not deep enough to run. And then no better guarantee there than the 2-run single from Marte.
I
So I
can't believe the 2 out runs that we're like they keep getting and we keep giving up. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple the other night. I mean, most of our runs were 2 out runs the other night. The 2 home runs, the back-to-back home runs were 2 out runs, and the walk-off was a 2 out
It's
run.
just crazy.
No, the Stott triple was a 1 out run, but even so, most of the runs the Phillies scored the other night were 2 out runs. The unfortunate thing is in games 1 and 3, the Phillies only scored 4 runs. Sorry, they've scored 4 runs in 2 games, and 7 in game 2. My issue in that inning was the approach to Pete Alonso. That was my issue that inning. I don't understand, first and second, nobody out. Alonso is leaning out over the plate. He wants the ball out. So why are you throwing the ball out?
Yeah.
Like he had no interest in swinging at balls inside on his hands.
Yeah.
Down and in. No issue. He didn't want to do it. And it's not like, well, Alonso has gotten Aaron inside. And if he cheats once, that might have been the line of thinking. I don't know. But this was questionable at best. And it put the Phillies down 4-0. The following inning, they go down 1-2-3. I mean, it was almost. I mean, Bohm swings at the first pitch, grounds out. JT works a pretty good about and grounds out. Austin Hayes strikes out again. Classic Austin Hayes. Alvarado comes out in the 7th and strikeout, pop up, gets hit in the foot, and then can't find the strike zone. And Topper said after the game he thought he was fine until he got hit in the foot. I think that's TBD, and I don't know. But single, walk, and then they bring in Jose Ruiz. Regz, I got to be honest. This was a point where I sort of get on Topper a little bit. I don't know that Ruiz is the right move here.
Why
Like,
are we
if
going to him?
Just trying to get one out, and you're facing Iglesias, like this is an Estevez at bat or Hoffman at bat.
Yep.
You've seen Estevez, or you've seen Iglesias be pretty. He's pretty susceptible to that sinker that runs in on him, and Estevez throws a hard fastball that runs back. So this, to me, in a 4-0 game, probably not a Jose Ruiz inning to me. And if you're going to use Estevez in this game, I feel like this is the moment to use him. Because if you keep it 4-0, you still have a shot with 2 at-bats left. This Mets bullpen is not that good. And we'll talk about it because they climbed back again. Like the Phillies had another chance in the 8th. So I don't really agree with that because you bring in Ruiz, who I like.
He's not a high leverage guy. Like he's not a leverage guy.
No, he's not. And they've tried him a couple of times, and there was a point where I was starting to, say maybe they should give him more opportunities. And in the regular season, they did, and he didn't really show that he was capable of it.
Exactly.
So then the Phillies come out and Mundo singles. They bring out Marsh. I kept saying to myself, I'm sitting at this little kitchenette table, eating my wings, and I said to myself when he got it 3-2, if he finds a way on, they have a legit shot to come back in this game. 2 on, nobody out. They're gonna bring in Maton, and Maton has been not good.
Yep.
And the top of the order coming up, and he swings through a pitch, middle, maybe a little up.
Well,
but it was
swings at ball 4 first, fouls it off his leg.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
Swings at an inside fastball. That's clearly ball 4.
Yeah.
And then can't hit
we're gonna get to that.
Can't hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball.
We're gonna get into that here in a moment. Sorry, Maton came in to face him. I apologize. Schwarber walks, and then Turner grounds out for the second out. Bryce singles, Nick singles, and then Bohm lines out I actually thought off the bat that Bohms was gonna like just bloop into center field. Unfortunately, it did not.
But like
And
also
it remained 6-2.
like Trey. Come on, man.
I
Like
don't remember his bet. I gotta look back.
it's I get like it's just
It would have been strike 3. It would have been strike 3. And now remember, be fair in this at bat. He took a pitch off the plate. He took the second
that
pitch. It was
curveball
1-0.
was
He took the pitch off the plate.
egregious.
Yes, and it was called a strike. Well, it was 0-1, and he took the second pitch. It went from 0-1, 0-2 on that pitch, and it would have been 1-1. So I'm not gonna get on Trey for that at bat. I like that the umpire needs to be better there. That pitch wasn't a strike all night.
He hasn't called that far out anywhere all night, and all of a sudden, like we're just making this up.
Now, Wainwright said that, I think it was Wainwright, who said that's one that the umpire is going to look at later and say, yeah, that's on me. That was a bad call. I missed that one.
Cool.
What does that help?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot.
What does that help?
All night. Like Aaron's missing by a quarter inch and he's not calling strikes.
Yeah.
And that pitch gets called a strike in that situation.
And Trey turned and directly at him.
Of course.
And yeah, directly.
But again, no consequences. Just,
No. And I know it's a 6-0. I know what the score is at that point. Like I know. But that inning looks very differently if you have the bases loaded and 1 out for Bryce Harper versus first and second and 2 outs for Bryce Harper.
Mhm.
It changes the complexion. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but that's the sort of shit. That's when they need the challenge system.
Yeah.
Because Trey uses that there, and that's ball 1. Immediately ball 1, that changes the at bat.
Yep.
They do bring in Estevez, walk, strikeout, fielder's choice. God only knows what Estevez was doing on that play. Tries to barehand the ball, then tries to glove it, almost falls first and second, strikes out Alvarez. And then I'm sitting there thinking, man, Lindor's 0 for 4 tonight and we're going to lose. But then he comes and hits the double to go to 7-2. Phillies go very quietly in the 9th, line out, pop up, strike out, and the series is 2-1. Disaster, Regz. Just absolute disaster written all over it. It's something. It's something what we're watching, what we're dealing with. This team, I don't have anything else to say about this game. I'm kind of ready to move on to tomorrow unless there's something you want to talk about from this.
No, I think I said my piece at the beginning there. I don't know what else to say. I don't know why. I don't know why
right.
Austin Hayes
Well,
has
tomorrow's
forgotten to be a
matchup,
baseball player.
Yeah.
Also, like you said.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow is I think the matchup that we almost fear the most, Regz, Jose Quintana, who we've seen dominate the Phillies in a postseason game before, against Ranger Suarez, who just has not remembered who he is for like 2 months now. We were hoping to get to this game up 2-1, and whatever happens. We know we've got Wheeler sitting behind him with Sanchez available if need be. And now we're in a totally different spot. Got to win, must win or go home. Against a guy who's pretty much dominated them this season. 2 starts against the Phillies. I'm going to give you those 2 starts, and I'm going to run through Phillies numbers, and we're going to talk about what we would do with the lineup tomorrow. On June 2nd, which was a London game, the Phillies scored 3 2/3. Quintana went 3 2/3. The Phillies had 4 hits. They scored 3 off of them. He walked 3 and struck out 1. That might have been the Harper homer with the slide.
Oh yeah.
And then on 9-13, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. He was, I would say, below average all year. Aside from September, he had 4 starts in September and allowed 2 runs over 4 starts. He was very good in the month of September. And as we saw in the Brewers game, he was very good against that Brewers lineup on the road. So I think one thing we know is that the Phillies aren't lighting up Jose Quintana tomorrow. And that's not good.
Yeah.
Here are their numbers against him as a team. I'm just going to go in the order of how they hit tonight, and then I'll throw in a couple of other guys at the end. Kyle Schwarber, 7 for 24. He has a double, a home run, and has struck out 7 times against him. Trey Turner, 6 for 24 with a double and 3 strikeouts. So, double and 3 strikeouts. Bryce is 4 for 21 with a double, home run, and 8 strikeouts. Casty is 13 for 53 with a triple, 2 home runs, and 10 strikeouts. Who hit after him? Boom. 3 for 15 with a double, home run, and 3 strikeouts. If we're going with tonight's lineup, JT, 4 for 19, home run, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Sosa, 3 for 9 with a double and 3 strikeouts. Hayes, 1 for 1 with a double. Rojas, 5 for 9 with 2 strikeouts. So your best hitters against Jose Quintana are Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Edmundo Sosa. Bryson Stott 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Weston Wilson 0 for 6 with 2 strikeouts. So I don't think we're getting either one of them tomorrow. I think we're going to see the same lineup that we saw tonight.
Great.
And honestly, Regz, I gotta be real with you. Like, looking at the numbers,
Yeah. It's not
what do you
incorrect. It's not,
change?
you're right. It's not incorrect. It's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah, like
I get it. No, I'm not.
I look at
Yeah.
this.
I'm not making a comment
I
on
look
the
at it.
lineup. It's like,
Yeah, I look at it and I'm like Bryson Stott doesn't hit him, and Weston Wilson's 0 for 6 against him. Like, you and at that point you kind of lean into your defense a little bit. Bryson's awesome, don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic fielder. You're just not losing a whole lot with Sosa at second.
yeah.
And Hayes is a much better defender than Wilson in left field. So, there's that. Let's talk a little bit about the Mets against Ranger. Real quickly though, for as devastated as we are, how do you think Dodger fans are feeling? It's 6-1 in the second.
Did
Padres.
Tatis just hit another home run?
Tatis hit another home run.
Jesus.
Like, Bueller has 2 outs in the second and is 6-1.
Yeah.
He just got out of the. I mean, like, you've got to figure, like, Dodger fans. I mean, that. What else are you supposed to do?
I don't know.
Like, they sign everyone every year and it doesn't change anything. All right, here are the numbers against Suarez in the order that I think we're going to see tomorrow. Francisco Lindor, 5 for 16 with a double, a walk, and a strikeout. Vientos, 3 for 15 with a double and 7 strikeouts. I actually think they're going to drop him because I think Jose Iglesias is going to hit second tomorrow. 6 for 8, 2 doubles and a strikeout.
Yeah.
I think he'll likely hit second, and Vientos will hit fifth.
Did he hit towards the top the last time they saw him?
Probably.
Yeah.
He'll hit second. Vientos will probably hit fifth. Alonso will probably hit third, even though his numbers aren't great against him. 2 for 17, 2 doubles. He's walked 8 times, though.
Yeah.
And struck out 4. Nimmo, 3 for 25, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Marte, it'll probably be Martinez. after Vientos. 2 for 9, double walk, 3 strikeouts. Marte 6 for 19, 2 doubles, 3 strikeouts, and Bader's 1 for 7. Overall, the numbers play toward Ranger, but Regz, like,
Yeah, what have we seen to prove that he's that pitcher?
right. Now, here's the thing for tomorrow, and I said this to you before the show. This is for people listening. The plan is this tomorrow. Ranger gets you through the order twice, 4 or 5 innings. Hopefully 1-2 runs. Like that is the ultimate win. 1 or 2 runs, maybe you're winning the game. I don't know. 5 would be ideal. 5 would be ideal. And if I had my druthers, maybe the Phillies have a 4-0 lead, and maybe he can start the 6th inning and find a way through 6, 4-1, 4-2, and then you hand the ball to Zach Wheeler. And you try and get the last 3-4 innings out of Zach Wheeler. The only way I don't see Zach Wheeler tomorrow is if by some miracle the Phillies win in a blowout, and we know that's not happening. Otherwise, the ball needs to be in Zach Wheeler's hand if you have a lead or you're within 1 or 2 runs late in the game. And then, if you get home, you have Sanchi going and all hands on deck after him. Not named Wheeler or Ranger, but you have to get to game 5.
Yeah.
At one point, we thought we could get to game 5 with Wheeler. Now you got to get to game 5 by using Wheeler.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, if you hold him for something that might never happen, what's the point?
So,
yeah.
I think, obviously we have to wait to see what happens come tomorrow. I don't, this would be the point where positive Azzy would say, maybe the Phillies will surprise us, but positive Azzy is not anywhere to be found, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just like I haven't talked a lot, and I just feel like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to. We're back to that. I don't know how to reconcile how people who seemingly are the most competitive people in the world, because they've made this like a sport a living, and all you hear about is, these people are different. They obviously put a tremendous amount of work into what they do to make it to where they are. And you see these no-shows from these guys who survive. Like, I get it. Alec Bohm is still a young guy, and Brandon Marsh is a young guy, but like, you're professional baseball players, and you're not doing stuff that, again, my 10-year-old knows when he steps onto a baseball field. Like, when he knows. And it's just the sheer lack of, it might not be epitomized more than Alec Bohm continuing to swing at the first pitch he sees. Yeah. Oh, I'm in a 4 for 30 slump. Let's continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. And I don't know how to reconcile, I think, the ultimate knowledge of like this, like we're done. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. Like, I think that's why I'm just sitting here in utter shock and silence, is I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I just don't know. I have no confidence, and I have no, and I don't know how to deal with the inevitability of the end for this team.
Yeah, honestly, like, it's funny. I'm kind of at peace. Like, I was really angry on Saturday, excited on Sunday, but I said it on the show, like, I will believe when they show up on Tuesday and show us that they are who they showed tonight, and they didn't show up tonight. So I'm sort of at peace with knowing that tomorrow is likely it. I also know it's going to bring some wholesale changes if they lose. And, you know, there are going to be some guys who are really beloved on this roster that will no longer be on this roster.
Yeah.
And, you know, that'll be a conversation for after the inevitable occurs. But, you know, for the young ladies who love the daycare, I think you're going to see a few of those guys on their way out of town after, you know, this happens. They've got some kids in the minors who I think they like more from a contact perspective, and there's a pretty big free agent, if you haven't heard, that I think will be in play if they get eliminated here early. So I'm at peace. Like I after game 1, I kind of came to the realization that they weren't going to beat this Mets team. Yeah, game 2 gave us a glimmer, but I sit here tonight and I'm like, I kept the book tonight. I'm going to sit on this couch tomorrow and I'm going to put my feet up and I'm just going to watch the inevitable meltdown of this team because they're saying all the things and I just don't think they actually believe what they're saying. I think they know they're cooked and prove me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
So, I got nothing else.
Yeah. Gotta love baseball, right?
You don't have to. I mean, the Dodgers are fighting back here a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. They have the bases loaded and Freeman just lined out, so we'll see. But, man.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
We'll be big Padre fans.
I'm gonna pour another bourbon.
What's that?
I said I'm gonna go pour another bourbon.
Yeah. We'll talk for a little bit after we hit end, but we'll be back tomorrow. I don't think you can expect much different than this.
Yeah.
And even if they win, like, do we think they're going back to Philly and winning? I said to you before we hit record, can they win one in New York and go back home and win one? Sure. Will they? Probably not.
Yeah.
So I leave it with that, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll be here tomorrow. I don't know. What do you even say?
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching, and have fun tomorrow, Phils.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, my God. Deep to right field. Way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.